Hey guys, this is Pug Weasel, otherwise known as Brad, and I'm going to do another beer review for you. The beer today is Newcastle Werewolf. Okay, let me give you a close-up of the bottle. It is obvious to me that they are advertising for Halloween. It's got the little claw tears in it, and it is they're calling it a blood red ale as opposed to just a red ale. So, I've actually had the beer already, and I kind of like it. It kind of tastes like original Newcastle, and but let me give you the information on it. Okay, so Newcastle Werewolf, it's made by Caledonian Brewery in United Kingdom. Gets a 75 by Beer Advocate, which is average. I think I probably agree with them on that. I don't ever rate beers, but it is average, which means it's not horrible, but excuse me. And it has 5% alcohol by volume, which is a little bit lower than a lot of the beers that I've been trying here lately. I have had the beer, but I have not actually poured it into a glass to see what it looks like or see what kind of head you get or any of that stuff. I'm not getting much of a head. I'm going to show it to you in here in just a second. But let me give you a close-up. So that is it, and I'm sure from where you're sitting, it looks a little browner than, say, an ale. It doesn't have much of a reddish hue or that amber color that you expect from a red ale. And so right off the bat, pouring it into the glass as opposed to having drank it out of the bottle, which, you know, is a different experience. You know, doesn't seem like a very true red ale. I will tell you this, that it tastes like regular Newcastle's been mixed with a red ale, and that seems to be something. This recipe seems to still have a heavy hint of Newcastle. It's got an interesting smell. I know I probably should have smelled it before I tasted it, but since I already tasted it, I just went ahead and had some. It's got an interesting smell, and it's got a nice aroma. And I don't know if my nose is stuffed up or something. It's not any bitters that I'm smelling, or I don't taste a lot. You can tell they're in there. It's very light. It's not very hoppy either. It definitely, you know, you can kind of tell those beers from United Kingdom Bass, you know, in Newcastle, in that they tend to have very subtle hints of flavor, and it's got just that slight kind of, I don't know what, you know, almost just kind of, stiff cardboard in the last part of it as you're drinking it. That taste that you get, like it's been sitting around for a long time, and that's not bad necessarily. I think some of the Belgian beers have that kind of sense to them as well. This is a beer, because it's so light, that you can pretty much have with any kind of food, from you know, light food, light fare, sandwiches, salads, to heavier things, you know, a nice sit-down steak and potatoes meal. So it's not bad. It's not something I would say it would be for the new craft beer drinker. I wouldn't recommend it. I think you have to be into the craft beers before you can really kind of understand the flavors of this beer, even though it's not that heavy or harsh. You know, it's not like an IPA that's real hoppy. It's still an acquired taste, so you're not going to go from Bud Light to this for sure. So I think basically it's a decent standard beer that you could have, you know, you could drink plenty of. It's not going to impress anybody, but it's also not going to be so unpleasant that you feel like you got ripped off and robbed. So that's where I would go with it. This has been a beer review of Newcastle Werewolf, and I'm Pug Weasel. Have a good evening.